Good evening, Good evening, everybody. I want to bring the Aston Township Board of Commissioners meeting for Wednesday, February 15th, 2023 to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before we start, just a couple things. The board had an executive session on February 1st and February 8th, and it covered personnel issues. And also, Jim Scal will be out for probably another month. He was out last month. He had double knee replacements, so that's why he's not sitting up here. And also want to welcome Jim Halligan down here next to Mr. Vasuso. He's a substitute solicitor tonight for our new solicitor who's got COVID, Michael Madron. So we welcome you, Jim. Okay. I want to review and approval of the special end of the year meeting for December 29th, 2022. Need a motion? Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Review and approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of January 18th, 2023. We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. We now have a proclamation to be read. Commissioner McGinn, please.
Thank you, Commissioner Higgins. I have wow, this is a loud mic tonight. Yeah, it's like booming. Must be because we have these musicians and folks in the back. You guys must have helped us tonight. So, the proclamation tonight, we're recognizing, if you couldn't guess, you don't have the agenda in front of you. Now I don't have audio. The yellow and blue, we've got the Aston Lions Club here. So, I have the privilege of reading this proclamation, which is written as all proclamations are. But I'd like to read this, and we're going to ask them up. We're Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania proclamation. Whereas the Board of Commissioners of Aston Township desires to recognize and honor the Aston Lions Club for their 75 years of dedicated service to Aston Township. And whereas on October 15, 1948, the Aston Lions Club was issued their charter with a membership of 33 members. In the late 1970s and the early 1980s, the membership peaked to 65. Currently, the club has 40 members, and whereas throughout the years, the Lions have rendered the following services to the community: establishing the Aston Middletown Little League, sponsoring of baseball and basketball, providing glasses for the needy, education awards, hurricane and flood relief, guide dogs for local residents, donation to those suffering from fire damage, providing medical equipment at no charge to residents of Delaware County, highway cleanup, and for over 60 years providing a children's Christmas party. And whereas these services value at approximately $250,000, with funds being raised by the loyal support of our community. And whereas the Lions raise funds to continue helping the community by holding their pancake breakfast, various bingo events, selling fruitcakes and candy bars, collecting aluminum, a lottery based upon the daily number, White Cane Days, and other miscellaneous fundraisers. And now therefore be it proclaimed that the Aston Township Board of Commissioners is proud to acknowledge and congratulate the Aston Lions Club for their 75 years of dedicated service. Duly proclaimed this 15th day of February 2023. Can I have a round of applause for the Aston Lions Club? And could I ask everybody to come so I can present the proclamation? We can take a picture.
Let me say, folks, if you're, one of the things they do, they were nice enough to invite me out a couple months back. And I can promise you this, you come for the meeting, you're going to be fed pretty well. So it was a great spread and a great group.
Anthony.
Well, okay, you get it inside. Present, you got to be next to the proclamation.
We're kidding around about it.
I would never go back and forth to the portal. We used to just call it to the portal, to the computer. We would just call each other if we wanted to, like substitute. Like if he wanted me to go use his, we always did it. I asked if I could use a server. They have servers. Oh, we could go.
Incidentally, from CNN, remember, tomorrow night we'll have 41.
Just asked to remind everyone, their meetings are the first, second, and third Thursdays down by the Sewer Authority building on Gamble Lane.
All right, so next we'll have committee reports. Commissioner Doherty, please.
Yeah, I have before me the Treasurer's Report for Aston Township for January 2023. Operating cash for the township and the general fund as of January 31st was $1,813,244. Other funds include the TD Bank Fund checking account with a balance of $234,041, the TD Bank escrow checking account with a balance of $393,535, the Pliget account, the 2022 account, the balance of $9,496,302, the TD Bank capital checking account with a balance of $687,320. Total cash balance of the township as of January 31st, 2023 is $18,206,615. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Doherty. Commissioner Rodriguez, please.
Thank you, President, again. Public Works Director report for January 2023. All metals were picked up throughout the township. All township vehicles and Aston PD vehicles were maintained in service. All streetlights issues were reported to Lenai Electric for replacement or repair. All township parks or properties have had branches and trash removed by the Highway Department. All small engine repairs were completed in-house by our 2 quality mechanics. All 811 call sheets were reviewed and applicable streets were marked as per 811 guidelines. We continue to work on moving all our equipment and property to our new Public Works building. Our department delivered the Aston Township calendars to all residents who use our services. We began curbside pickup on Christmas trees. The road banks along Bridgewater Road were cleaned of all trash and debris. An inlet on Thomas Road had its inlet cap replaced by our crew. Our team filled 78 potholes using 1 ton of coal patch. We also filled 48 potholes in an industrial park using 3/4 ton of coal patch. Our sanitation department picked up 62.76 tons of recycling and 486.48 tons of residential waste. Our department also picked up 3,480 pounds of metal, which was recyclable for a cost savings of $261 for the township. A reminder to all residents to dispose of all medical waste property, as radiation can be found in something as small as a tissue or adult diaper. Nuclear medicine patients should contact the doctor for more instructions on the proper disposal of medical waste. The first full week of the month is Metal and Appliance Week. Bulk trash would no longer exist. Anything that can burn can be put out on the curb for trash at any time. Please have the trash at the curb by 6 a.m. on a designated trash day. Any questions, please contact Russ Palmore, Director of Public Works, at 610-494-8005. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Berry, please.
Thank you, Commissioner Higgins. I have the police report. Incidents occurred in January 2023. 526 incidents handled, 28 accident investigations, 36 criminal. Clearance rate, part 1 was 38%, clearance rate, part 2 was 61%. And the license plate reader totals at Pentel and Concord for the month was 894,075. Pentel and Dunk Mill roads at 741,445 vehicles. And that was my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Bowden?
I have a bunch of stuff. First report that I have is from the library. There'll be a bingo to benefit the Aston Public Library, Saturday, March the 4th. Bingo is 6 to 9. Doors will open at 4:30. $25 admission. All cash prizes. No one under 18 is admitted, and alcoholic beverages are not permitted. Their annual bookmark design contest for school-age children is underway. An entry form is available at the library for downloads at www.astonlibrary.org. The deadline will be February the 28th. The winner's work will be displayed at the library. We now also have an art group with Miss Angela meeting each Saturday at 10 a.m. at the library. The group is an opportunity to work on collective or individual projects. The group will be focusing on a different media each week. Bring your child to our weekly story times. Infant/younger toddler story time with Miss Raven is on Wednesdays at 10:30 a.m. Preschool/older toddler story time with Miss Amy is Thursday at 10:30 a.m. There will be a movie showing, and the movie is Nope, on Friday, March 3rd at 11 a.m. The next report I have is for the Aston seniors. Their next meeting will be Thursday, February the 23rd, 10 o'clock at the Aston Community Center. The lunch for that day is ham, pineapple stuffing, coleslaw, vegetable, and the best part, dessert. Contact Dan Sweeney at 610-494-0677 if you have any questions. Park and Recreation will be having a movie this Friday at the Aston Community Center, indoors at the gymnasium. We'll start at 7 o'clock. The movie is Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, which is currently out at the movie theater if the children haven't seen it. So come on up at 7 o'clock, bring a sleeping bag or a blanket, and enjoy. The Easter egg hunt for the Aston Township will be Saturday, March the 25th at 10 o'clock a.m. at the Community Center. The rain date will be Sunday, March the 26th at 12 o'clock. And lastly, I have Aston Township would like to hire substitute crossing guards. Guards must be willing to work in all types of weather and high traffic areas. A criminal background check and child abuse clearance is required. The pay rate is $16 an hour. Crossing guards are paid on a monthly basis. Applications can be picked up at the Aston Township Police Station, 1 New Road, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4. That's all I have, Commissioner Higgins.
Good job, Commissioner. Commissioner McGinn, please.
Thank you.
I have two reports this month. First, I'll read the land development update report. Just an update regarding the CNN Skate Palace property, as most folks know it. Just for some background, some folks may remember or not remember, a group, McFadden Group, has acquired that property and a little ways back, and they've already been through with plans for a self-storage facility. So that's been through new construction, zoning, and planning. So they're getting ready to begin demolition. So they've applied for those permits. We're told they're going to start that towards the end of this month, early next month. So really just an FYI for folks to know where that stands. And obviously it's a little bit set back off of Concord Road, but a lot of folks drive that way, so you might see some activity there coming up. In terms of a fire department report, starting the new year, I'll highlight a couple of the statistics I like to that I think we should be proud of. With the average dispatch time for our services for EMS, the Aston Township Fire Department is on scene on an average time of 7 minutes and 40 seconds, and our fire dispatch is on scene an average time of 6 minutes and 46 seconds for the course of January. That's pretty consistent for folks that haven't been here a lot year over year, at least what I've seen in a couple of years I've been on the board, and that's something we should be proud of and thankful for, that we have a volunteer fire department that responds at that level on a consistent basis. The other thing, there's more to come, but again, something we're blessed with in Aston Township is a fire marshal with a lot of experience in Tom Morgan. So the fire committee, which includes myself, Nancy Bowden, Les Berry, as well as with our staff and our police chief, who's here, Danny Ruggieri in the back, and our fire department met with Tom Morgan, and we discussed doing some additional planning so that we look and make sure that everybody in terms of on the fire department, police department is very well trained in understanding roles and responsibilities in any type of an emergency, a flood, anything like that, but to begin to do some training and things they call tabletops to work through scenarios. So we have already fantastic plans, in terms of emergency operations plans, but we're going to do some more in testing them and having people involved, not just the police department and fire department, but other folks with different roles in the township. So we have a goal of trying to do that once a year moving forward, and the first one we're going to look to try to do in the fall. So more to come on that, but just wanted to provide that update from the fire committee report. That's it for me tonight, Commissioner Higgins.
Thank you, Commissioner. That was very good information, and I second the what Joe had to say about the fire department. I have two things to read myself. I forgot to sign the building and codes report out since I'm here in the middle tonight, so I'll read that. The following is a report of the permits and licenses issued for the month of January 2023. There was a beginning balance of 0. Total income from building permits and general contractors licenses, $35,871. Total electrical permits and licenses, $2,063. Total plumbing and heating permits and licenses, $3,609. Income from Board of Health licenses, $675. Income from peddlers and vendors permits, $1,200. Income from certificates of occupancy, $2,800. Income from rental licenses, $5,800. And income from street openings, $5,717. Total revenue collected for the month, $57,735. And I'm not comparing that to the year before, but for January 2022, though, we had $50,262. That's all for that report. And next, I see some of our neighbors that live over on Woodbrook Way, and I have something to say regarding the vibrations and noise that they have unfortunately had to experience. So this is an update on the noise and vibration problems being experienced by some of the residents living on Woodbrook Way, adjacent to the Building 500 in the Springbrook Trade Center complex. Building 500 is the main redistribution facility for Thayer Distribution. The township's consultant started testing on the site on January 3rd with handheld equipment. It was a quiet day, but those tests were important to establish a noise baseline for future testing. In mid-January, noise and vibration monitors were placed at 3 locations. They were actually placed into the ground. These instruments are transmitting hourly data to the consultant's office. Early testing results have indicated that there is no ground vibration issue, meaning that the vibrations are related to sound coming from reefer trailers and/or tractor idling. By law, truck idling is restricted to 15 minutes maximum. We have been in constant discussion with the property owner, Trammell Crow Company, who are also performing their own studies. The plan at this point will be to meet with Trammell Crow within the next 2 weeks to compare the testing results and discuss the height and location of the proposed sound barrier walls. As always, we encourage our neighbors to send information on the time of day or night that they are having vibration issues. This data can be compared with the testing results we are receiving on the monitors. We at the township understand the concerns of the neighbors, but it is important that we take the necessary time to collect the correct data to accurately position the proposed walls to best migrate the problem. As we previously stated, all of us here at the township, our engineers and the property owner, are very serious about finding a solution to the vibration and noise problems that the adjoining residents have to deal with every day. We understand that the quality of life problems, and we do not take them lightly. We do care, and we will continue to do what it takes to find a lasting solution. Thank you. And if any of the folks that live back there on Woodbrook Way want to come up and speak tonight, they can do that at the first question and answer period, okay? Okay, so now we'll move on to the review and approval of the treasurer's report. I need a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Okay, ayes have it. And also review and approval of the bills and payroll report.
In the form of a motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, number 9 next. And number 9 is open to the public for agenda items only and to speak on the vibration and noise problems on Woodbrook Way.
Sorry, you're asking me what?
If you would like to come up, please do. Hi, folks. How you doing tonight?
Good.
Could you just state your name and address, please?
Yeah, my name is Ralph Haspel. This is my wife, Debbie Hassel. We live at 14 Woodbrook Way. We're probably one of the more vocal residents about the noise. I should really rephrase that. It's a vibration. Yeah, we have documented records, and we're trying to keep as close of an accurate documentation of how long, how frequent. I will say that probably the most troublesome time is over the weekend. The Friday night, they'll park a trailer and it will just kick on and shut off, and kick on and shut off. And the vibration penetrates my house. From the outside, it doesn't sound as bad. It's not a ground vibration, as you probably gathered by now. It does concentrate in certain places in my house where I can stand in very specific areas, and it rattles my head. It's pretty heavy sometimes. It really depends on where they park that trailer and how many there are. My big fear is that they reduce the amount of noise at this time only to for it to get worse a year from now because, they forget. And there's 51 bays that line that side of the property, and they all, every single one of those bays face my house. The other thing that I wanted to mention is our living quarters is on the second floor. Our first floor is a laundry room. There's a bedroom on the first floor that is my daughter's bedroom. I spent a year renovating that bedroom, and it's immaculate. It's beautiful. She can't sleep there because the noise it concentrates in that room. That room's bad. She's back to her little 9x9 bedroom, and she's 15 years old, 10th grade, straight A student, ambitions for college. She has to wear. I brought a set, but a pair of Bose $200 noise canceling headphones, and she's sitting at home right now studying wearing them. She has to wear them. My dog has not had any more seizures, but we've also not allowed her to sleep in the bedroom anymore. She had 4 seizures, 3 of them the first weekend that they turned on the reefers.
Always when the reefers are on.
It's when the reefers are on. Yeah,
What about that? I can't hear you, I'm sorry. It's always when the reefers are on.
The point about the second floor is that in your discussions with Trumbull Crow, you have to consider the angle of our living quarters to where these bays are. And I would highly encourage somebody to just come up to the top of my deck and look, because that's the angle. And if the wall is, if you're trying to determine the location of the sound barrier, you have to consider that angle, because we are, again, my bedroom faces the bays. The head of my bed, luckily the head of my bed is a big wooden head of the bed, and we can position a sound machine right between our heads in this little cove that is able to drown out the sounds when it kicks on. My daughter is lucky that she's on the opposite side of the house, but my kitchen, highly affected. My living room, which faces that property, is highly affected. If you stand under my deck, in the corner of that underside of the property, it gets so strong in that spot that you wonder how and where these sound waves are bouncing, but it always seems to focus right there. And I can predict where the sound is bouncing around in my house. I moved her desk to a position to reorganize our office area to fit my daughter's desk in that area, so that she could at least be in a spot where it's away from the sound. And when I moved her desk towards just a few feet forward, the sound concentrated right where her head was, and I had to move it back so that she would be out of that concentration zone. It affects our daily quality of life. For a while there, we were so stressed out that we were having health problems. We've learned how to control the emotion, but our big fear is it's going to affect our property value. This is a serious concern of ours, and how long we can take it, frankly.
When I first started, we considered moving, then Aston, we just had to get out of the house. That's how bad it can be. Tonight I came home with my daughter's in tears because for half an hour it was extremely bad. Still, it's getting worse. It's not getting better. So that's my concern. And I appreciate hearing you say that they're going to put a wall in. I just want to make sure it's tall enough. And I was in contact with Jeff at Trumbull Crow myself. He does email me back and he responds. But when you get responses for 2 months, after a while it starts to feel like a runaround, and it feels like people are yanking our chains. And I appreciate you saying what you're saying, but at this point actions speak louder than words, and no one's been at our house to even see how we're doing, and it's really bad sometimes. I mean, it's not fun, and it's just we can't escape. And then if we think about moving, or is somebody going to buy our house, or they come in our house and hear we're stuck. And I appreciate if they put a wall in, come to my house and see what it feels like.
I don't even know if they're being responsive, or they don't wanna do anything.
The responsibility to solve the problems are with the owner of the property. They lease space.
Okay.
Okay, so I talked to Jeff today. He's aware of everything we're doing, and as I said, they're doing some similar work. Theirs isn't lasting as long. So the owner of the company is out of town, but he's scheduling an appointment to meet with him. But going down there myself, I've seen that many of the trucks are parked up at the end near the gate.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, when I went down there, I saw a lot of them at the gate.
Okay.
Nancy, you were down there, I don't know what you saw,
Okay, it doesn't sound any different than 2 months ago, so I don't know.
Well, it
Doesn't matter.
does sound a little better. In the beginning, sometimes it's not, and I don't know if it's multiple reefers running at one time, or where it's parked, or what direction it's parked in. But I will say, it has at times been much better.
Well, a little better isn't good enough, okay? And,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah,
Hey, Mike, can I say one more thing? I was over there this week, and there was 50 trucks in this day. Like I said, I don't know how your weekend was, but it was bad, whatever, listen to those reefers. They're thermostatically controlled. That's why you're hearing them coming on and off constantly.
Okay,
I just wanted to back up what you were saying.
thank you.
well, I think, I went and I've been over there a lot, not every day, but I've been over there a lot. And I went up and parked, this isn't during the workday, because I'm retired, so I can go down there. And I've sat by more than one truck where the reefer was running. If you're sitting in front of the truck, I got pretty good hearing. It didn't sound that bad. That doesn't mean that it doesn't give a vibration in your house.
Yeah.
We understand that.
Lots of times we'll walk outside and I'll be
Yeah.
like, that doesn't sound that bad. I mean,
Yeah.
And you walk inside and it's like, oh my God, it's like amplified.
Yeah, that's what's puzzling about it.
It is.
Mr. Feo, were you in the Haskell's house?
I was, yeah.
So
Yes.
what did you experience when you were in there?
So just what Debbie said, I went over there the first week, and we could hear the noise, the rattling, we also hear the vibration. So there was some, again, we've indicated that we've been communicating back and forth. We're moving as quickly as we can. Relative to Joe's been involved very much in the whole process.
Right. Well, Mr. D'Souza, is there anything you might like to say that?
No, but I did
Thanks for
have,
that.
again, the best thing we could have, and you guys have been great doing it, is a log so that we can tie exactly, we're reading 24/7, right? So we want to be able to tie, if you hear it at 5 in the afternoon on Thursday and 3 in the morning on Sunday, that's all helpful information. I did have one question though. I was a little confused. So you say your living quarters is basically on the second floor, which is that where like the desk you were talking about is?
Yeah.
And your bedroom, but your daughter's bedroom, the one you fixed up for her, is on a floor lower.
Yes.
But you're still hearing it there also,
Yes.
right? Okay.
It's interesting where the sound concentrates, because it's not always where it directly faces their property. It's almost like it's bouncing off of the shopping center to the left and coming around to the side, my left side, where their property is more to the back and to the right. So I think the vibration may bounce. It may also consolidate in certain places, like if you had two reflecting walls where a sound wave might come together or two directions, it might concentrate. Sometimes the sound will reverberate. It'll change. It'll oscillate up and down, up and down, up and down. And if you can imagine trying to sleep through something like that, imagine you're parked at a stoplight and a car with deep bass that you can feel is at the same intersection with you. Well, and now imagine that same sound constant for 45 minutes, an hour, in your house, in your bedroom, in your kitchen. That's what we're going for.
One of the things we have the capability of doing, which is going to start tomorrow, is we're actually going to model we actually have the capability of placing a reefer on the property virtually, if you will, like, and then we can model it, send out the sound on the, we have the plans, we know where your house is located, so we'll place a reefer at the bays, send the sound out in the computer actually, and then see what's happening with that sound. And like I said in Commissioner Higgins reported, the good thing is we have a developer that is willing to do something. They would have ordered these walls. Originally, when they thought about the walls, they were more for glare than they were for sound. Now that the problem came up, and they're willing to do something. But our caution is that once they're erected, it's very costly, right? Once they're erected, they can't be moved, and the height can't be increased. So we want to make sure that between what they're doing and what we're doing, that we put them in the right spot. I mean, I even wrote down what you said about bouncing off the shopping center there, because something obviously is happening that's unique to your property. And I know some of the other folks here have some similar issues, but it's an interesting observation route that you just brought up. So, okay.
I also wanted to speak for my neighbor Dan and Christy. I'm not sure what their last name is. They live 2 houses to the south of me we're 14, so they're probably 22 Woodbrook. 22, yeah. I spoke to Dan. He couldn't make it tonight. He's a Philadelphia police officer. He moved to Aston to try to find some peace and quiet. And they have a 1-year-old child. He told me the other day that he has to wear earplugs at night to sleep. And then they have to have noise machines, and it's constant for them too. When I spoke to him, he didn't sound too confident that anything was happening, and it's probably because nobody's talking to him, and he's probably not vocal enough to contact and reach out to you guys. But I do want to say that he's experiencing the same problem, maybe in different ways, but his property, again, like ours, faces Dremel Pro's building, and he wanted me to say something on his behalf tonight for his family. He just moved in about 2 years ago, so he's kind of shocked. He didn't see this building there when he moved in, and suddenly it's there, and now he's dealing with the same problem we're dealing with.
He called me a couple weeks ago.
Okay. That's good. Good.
What is his address?
22 Woodbrook.
22? Another point, and you talked about the positioning of your house. One day, a couple weeks ago, I went and pulled my plans, I believe they're final plans, and I filled in all the neighbors' names and the addresses and so forth, and at least one had changed. I wanted to try to find out exactly where you were. I originally had thought that if I stood there, right next to where the trucks were, and looked straight ahead, I'd see your house, but it's not the case. When I stand there, you're like at 2 o'clock, which gives you a 45-degree angle from where I am. So when you look over, you would look over on an angle right to the side of the building as opposed to looking straight back. So that was enlightening to where you are. And then the other thing you mentioned about where the sound travels, between the shopping center, the old Dutton Shopping Center there, and there's a kind of a call it a ravine, for lack of a better word, and it goes probably from 5 feet to maybe about 8 or 10 feet, or maybe even 12 where you are, where your yard. If you go back to where your yard is, eventually you'll probably go down.
Yeah, it's the stream. The stream exits underground between my house and.
Yeah, so this is some kind of a phenomenon that we don't understand yet. And as Mr. Viscuso said, they're going to do some modeling. And I believe, Joe, that one of the monitors that were put into the ground or by their house.
There's one directly behind my house.
Yeah, so that's good too. So when we start the modeling, we're going to sit down and look at this thing, and hopefully we can come to some kind of conclusion as to why the problem is going through the air.
It's definitely going through the air.
Yeah,
it's not a ground vibration.
Right.
It's not. There's nothing. It's the pulsation of the refrigerated unit's compressor. and perhaps even the diesel engine that runs, which ironically, there's ordinances against diesel engines running, but of course this has an exception.
There were
because-
trucks, I believe, were supposed to shut down in 15 minutes. And the other thing that I saw going back there, and I sat by some of the trucks, sitting by the truck, and we know diesel can be loud and everything. To me, it wasn't real bad sitting right next to it. How you get the sound is a different thing. So I would never say, oh well, that's not the way it is. But it is. It is. When you hear.
It travels. And,
Yeah.
And I will say that we were walking over this past weekend past the Woodbrook Park, where you have the Easter egg hunt.
Yeah.
And we were probably midway through past the park, at the midway point of the park, and I could hear the vibration.
Really?
I could feel the vibration from that far away, which means it was traveling, between my house, my block side of the block, the other side of the block, and halfway across the Woodbrook field. I could feel the vibration.
Yeah.
So it's traveling well into the neighborhood. We're just taking it for granted, I think.
I mean, if there's the one thing we do know between our test and Trammell Crow's test is that it's not ground vibration. That's actually almost good news because a little harder to mitigate the ground vibration. So we do know because when we first heard about this 2 months ago, I was not at the December meeting because I was sick, but that was the first time you guys had approached the township for a meeting. And when you hear vibration, you immediately think it's traveling through the ground. So we have both sets of tests have ruled that out. Like I said, in a little bit of that's kind of good news because that's harder to mitigate than sound. Travel through the air.
Understood. All right, well, I thank you for everything the
So
township.
thank you, and again, I can't say how sorry we are that you're experiencing these things. They are definitely quality of life problems. We're not happy that you are, experiencing them, and hopefully when we do the modeling and so forth, or when Joe and this company do the modeling, we can come to a satisfactory and long-term solutions. But we appreciate your patience on this, and we appreciate you coming to the meeting tonight.
Yep. We'll be in touch.
Okay, thank you. Thanks to both of you.
Thank you.
All right. This is John Marchalak coming up.
18 Woodbrook Way. Yeah,
I'm sorry, can you just spell your last name?
like the month of March, L-I-K, March 11. And, I have weeks and weeks of data. And what's interesting, when the trailers pull in there, some of my customers used to tell me that you have to let the diesel engines cycle down, something about the turbochargers or whatever, you can burn them up. So anyway, I noticed that the RPMs will rise when they pull a trailer in and they're shutting it down for the night or whatever. Of course, they're backed in against this 30-foot concrete wall. The RPMs will go up for about 15 minutes and then it's silent. So anyway, I suppose that's one of the things. Between Dan's house at 22 and my own 18, you can be outside, like to the front of the home, and it's like an echo chamber in between. Just like you can see in cities between buildings. And then Dutton Mills Shopping Center and Springbrook, it's like a natural channel. You have 2 rows of concrete, and again, Springbrook is 30-foot concrete. So it may not sound bad at the front of the trailer, but imagine a 53-foot hollow box, metal box, with an engine mounted on it, 2 or 3 cylinders. I don't know what they use. And again, a month ago or so, I'd mentioned, and the lawyer had heard it. I said, well, if there's an ordinance against engines idling for 15 minutes, these are diesel engines on the reefers idling. I don't know what can be done about that, but it's a point. Yeah, and again, it's interesting, the rise between our homes, Dan and mine, it's an echo chamber there. There is when the engineer, Jack Riley, was over setting things up, I had them come in and I showed them photos of the subterranean water collection system when they were building that, and they had not seen that before. And that's an extensive underground system of hollow plastic piping alternating with rock layers. And it was just brought up, I wonder if this has anything to do with generating or being a reverberation unit. It's a lot of piping and rock down there. I don't know, it's just a thought. And it's almost a length of the building. I was amazed when they were building it, the technique. And again, it's you know, it can be 2:30 in the morning, they're pulling out. And it varies all over the place, but there's definitely a reverberation between our homes and then inside it varies. Hasn't been as bad, I must admit. Whatever's different, I don't know. Maybe parking down further away from us, I don't know. But that's about it. Thank you.
We appreciate it, John. Thank you.
Anybody else that would like to come up on the Shoebrook, Springbrook, Shoebrook, Springbrook, or any other thing that's on the agenda tonight? Feel free. Okay, seeing none, we'll move forward. Okay, number 10, old business A. Mr. McGinn.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Higgins. We have tonight in front of us the conditional use approval for 3100 Mount Road, Unit F-3. So, a couple gentlemen that are here in the back in terms of entrepreneurs with Rockdale Music and expanding what they're doing have proposed expanding what Rockdale Music does and including a venue for events and activities down on Mount Road by Red Hill Road. And so I have a rather lengthy resolution to read that I will do that. But the background of this is the conditional use, and when you read this through, these are the conditions to a use that goes through. So I'll read them, and I'll read this verbatim as it is here, and I'll make a motion for the board to approve it. As I do that, I do want to make sure folks know that a lot of consideration and time goes into that. I have a very strong appreciation for the business owners for the time that they've spent, presentation they provided, their willingness to provide back and forth for questions. Aston Township isn't exactly South Street in Philadelphia, right? So we're not used to, or Nashville or Austin or whatever. So it's certainly exciting, but it's not a typical type thing we've dealt with. So a lot of folks, our previous solicitor, Beth Naughtenbach, our current solicitors, Mike Madron, who's not here, and I'm sure Jim Halligan was involved. Our police chief, Danny Ruggieri, looking at it, our fire marshal, Tom Morgan, the entire board, and special recognition I think goes to my colleague John Doherty in terms of what they did to put the district together, and certainly my predecessor I know was involved, Carol Graham, years back. So with that, let me read this conditional use approval, and I will conclude it by making a motion of approval. I've just got to read it first. So Aston Township, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, resolution number 2023-12. This is in regard to 3100 Mount Road, Unit F-3, and it's the conditional use application of Jarrett Loss and Michael Gatos to operate a venue for concerts and events in the LI district, subject to the Rockdale Arts Overlay District. And this is the conditional use approval language. Whereas, on December 13th, 2022, Jarrett Loss and Michael Gatos, collectively the applicant, filed an application for conditional use approval to operate a venue for concerts and events, the proposed use, at 3100 Mount Road, Unit F3, the premises. Whereas the premises is in the township's limited industrial district and subject to its Rockdale Arts Overlay District. Whereas the proposed use is subject to conditional use approval in the Rockdale Arts Overlay District. Whereas on January 18th, 2023, the Board of Commissioners, further known as the Board, conducted a conditional use hearing, further known as the hearing. Whereas at the hearing, the applicant entered the following exhibits, further known as the exhibits. A PowerPoint presentation entitled The Mills at Rockdale Pitch Deck, consisting of 19 slides, and presented the following witnesses: Jared Loss, Michael Gatos. The exhibits and the witnesses' testimony hereinafter being the applicant's evidence, and whereas based upon the evidence, the board finds that the application meets the criteria for conditional use approval set forth in section 1275.05 and 1290.02 of the Aston Township Code. Now, therefore, the application is approved subject to the following conditions. Condition 1. Applicant shall construct and operate the proposed use in accordance consistent with all applicable laws and regulations of the United States of America and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, as well as all applicable ordinances of the County of Delaware and Aston Township. Condition 2. Applicant shall construct and operate the proposed use consistent with all applicable building codes and ADA accessibility requirements. Condition 3. Applicant shall construct the proposed use consistent with township floodplain regulations. Condition 4. Applicant shall construct and operate the proposed use consistent with the evidence, which is incorporated into this decision as though fully set forth. Condition 5. Prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy for the proposed use, applicant shall provide a copy of its lease agreement for the premises for review by the township solicitor and confirmation that said lease guarantees off-site parking consistent with that shown in the evidence. Condition 6. Prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy for the proposed use, applicant shall provide the township with a letter of support from the trustees of its landlord, the Leslie W. Ida Deed of Trust dated 6/29/04, and the Ernest C. Ida Deed of Trust dated 6/29/04, each a 50% tenant in common. Condition 7. Prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy, the existing shared parking lot servicing the premises will be restriped to account for the maximum number of permissible spots, and visible striping shall be maintained in the shared parking lot throughout the duration of the proposed use. Condition 8. Prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy, applicant shall provide the township with a copy of its agreement providing off-site parking for events. Condition 9. All events exceeding 125 anticipated guests shall have a valet and traffic control attendant present. Condition 10. All events exceeding 200 anticipated guests shall provide, in addition to the aforementioned valet and traffic control attendant, shuttle service to and from the designated remote off-site parking area. Condition 11. Should the township determine it necessary at any time in the future, it shall have the option to mandate that the applicant employ private security at events and levels to be established at the time the township makes such determination. Condition 12. All events shall conclude by 10 p.m. and applicant shall use its best efforts to cause all event attendees to vacate the premises promptly at the end of any event, and the shared parking lot servicing the premises and any remote parking area by 11 p.m. Condition 13. Applicant shall hold all events indoors. Condition 14. Applicant shall improve the site distance for ingress to and egress from the shared parking area servicing the premises to the satisfaction of the township engineer. Condition 15. All alcohol sales will comply with Pennsylvania liquor control laws and regulations, and then applicable township procedures for intra or inter-municipal liquor license transfers. Condition 17. All interior exterior food sales will require applicable Department of Health inspections and approval, and the placement and use of disposal receptacles satisfactory to the applicable health officer. Condition 17. The terms and conditions of this approval may only be modified by subsequent conditional use approval in accordance with the then applicable provisions of the Aston Township Code. This is a rather lengthy resolution as I hinted at beforehand, but I am fully in support of it, and I make this resolution in the form of a motion for approval.
Okay, we have a motion, and we have a second. Any comments or questions from the board? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Congratulations. Gentlemen are in the back, so. Okay.
Good luck.
Okay, we'll move on now to new business, item 11, and item A. Consider a motion to appoint Eileen Bailey as the Aston Township Zoning Hearing Board Officer. Commissioner Bowden.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Eileen Bailey as the Aston Township Zoning Hearing Board Officer.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Item number 11B is consider a motion to appoint Michael Madron as the Aston Township Solicitor, and that is Commissioner Bowden.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Michael Madron as the Aston Township Solicitor in the form of a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. We now have item C, Commissioner Prendergast.
This is consider a resolution for the submission of a County Aid MS 339 application. In the form of a motion, I will read this. This is an application for county aid. Therefore, be it resolved that we, the officials of Aston Township, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, in regular session, do hereby make application to the county for an allocation of county liquid fuel tax funds. Project description. The project involves milling of bituminous surface, 9.5 millimeter super paved wearing course, 25 millimeter super paved base repair, hot thermoplastic pavement markings, and appurtenant work for various streets in the township. Total estimated cost is $450,000. Allocation requested is $18,833. It is certified by the municipality and the officers who execute this application that all materials used and work done hereafter shall conform to the current Pennsylvania Department of Transportation specifications, and that all work will be done within the legal right of way or with the permission of the abutting property owners. Duly adopted 2/15/2023, attested by Kelly Ann Pippett, Secretary, Michael J. Higgins, Vice President, Board of Commissioners, in the form of a motion.
We have a motion and a second. I just want to make one comment. All that legal language that Fred was reading has to do with the county's share of the paving of our roads. The rest comes from the township. The county gives us the same amount just about every year. So that's what that was. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We now move on to item D. Let's consider a motion to approve the request for qualifications, that's an RFQ, to Pinoni Associates, Inc., for the work to be completed on the Concord Road and Donnelly Avenue Streetscape Project. Commissioner Prendergast.
I make a motion to approve the request for qualifications to Pinoni Associates, Inc. for the work to be completed on Concord Road and Donnelly Avenue Streetscape Project. In the form of a motion.
We have a motion and a second. Another comment. The medians that are going to be installed as part of this project will eliminate the planned roundabout. This back. Okay, so that's what that is. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Item number 11E. Consider a motion to appoint Gina Ruggieri to a 4-year term on the Aston Township Library Board. Commissioner McGinn.
Thank you. I make a motion to appoint Gina Ruggieri to a 4-year term on the Aston Township Library Board.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. We consider, next one is New business is consider a motion to appoint Harry Hill to a 4-year term on the Aston Township Library Board. Commissioner Prendergast.
I make a motion to appoint Harry Hill to a 4-year term on the Aston Township Library Board. Form of a motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Item G, consider a motion to appoint Mary Ann Liggins to a 4-year term on the Aston Township Library Board, and that's Commissioner Bowden.
It's a great pleasure to make a motion to appoint Mary Ann Liggins to a 4-year term on the Aston Library Board.
We have a second? We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Next one, item I, consider a motion to approve a refund to the Tamora Building Systems, Inc., 1390 Birmingham Road, Westchester, PA 19382, in the amount of $1,829.98 for an overpayment of a building permit. Commissioner Dockerty.
Mike, we actually skipped H.
I did?
Yep.
Oh. We're doing public penance tomorrow. Okay. I got it. Item H, sorry about that. Consider a motion to approve a refund to Rentwell Lease Management to maintain 301 East Baltimore Avenue, Clifton Heights, PA 19018, in the amount of $200 for 2 rental licenses that are no longer rentals. Commissioner Dockerty.
I make a motion to approve the refund maintain of Clifton Heights, PA 19018, in the amount of $200 for rental licenses that are
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Sometimes your fingers don't work right when you're trying to pick up paper. Next one is item I. Consider a motion to approve a refund to Tamora Building Systems, Inc., 1390 Birmingham Road, Westchester, PA 19382, in the amount of $1,829.98 for an overpayment of a building permit. Commissioner Dockerty again.
I make a motion to approve the refund to Tamora Building Systems Incorporated of Westchester, PA 19382, in the amount of $1,829.98.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Item 12 is next, and Mr. Burry here to my right is going to read the escrow release.
Thank you, Commissioner. Aston Township, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, Resolution 2023-14. Whereas ordinance number 240 and ordinance number 360 provide for escrow refunds for completion of improvements, and whereas the township engineer and the new construction committee has approved the request for escrow funds released to Trammell Crow, Springbrook Boulevard, Trammell Road, folio number 0377-00, sub-account number is 7765359,722. Now therefore be it resolved that Aston Township execute such action as required by Township Secretary and President of the Board of Commissioners to release the amount currently being held in escrow to 90% of the original amount. Duly adopted this 15th day of February 2023. Michael J. Higgins, Vice President, Board of Commissioners, attested to by Kelly A. Pittman, Township Secretary. That's in the form of a motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Second resolution, 2023-15, whereas the Township Engineer and the new construction committees approved the request for escrow refunds released to Douglas Davis, 504 Trines Road, rooftop solar array, folio number 2521-02, sub-account 7766129,851, to release the sum of $183.25 payable to Douglas Davis, 504 Trines Road, Aston, PA 19014, duly adopted this 15th day of February 2023. That's in the form of a motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, the following amount is for engineering fees to be paid to Pannoni Associates for the month of February. Total amount is $6,234, and that's in the form of a motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
The following amount is engineering fees to be paid to Cirilli Associates Incorporated for the month of February, $1,633.50, in the form of a motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. I think we should have Mr. Berry do this every month. Okay. So
All right, I think that's it.
Yep, that's it. Okay, item 13, open to the public 1/2 hour. Anybody would like to come up, please do so and state your name and your address.
How you doing? Leo Bissonette. I live at 4310 Springhouse Lane.
Can you spell your last name for me?
Yes, B as in boy, ISSONETTA.
Say that again, for me, please.
B as in boy, ISSONETTA. So I kind of, we're having an issue with the Bubbles Car Wash, with a lot of loud music getting played at random times of the night. My first question is I've been in contact with Jim Segal. Now, you just told me he had a double knee replacement.
Yeah, Jim will not be here for a while. He's not real mobile yet.
Sure.
Okay, but go ahead.
Who's taking his place?
The rest of the board, I'll pick it up on Mr. Fay over there.
Right, so you'll be the next point of contact? Okay, because he's not able to, because he talked about setting up a meeting with neighbors, with Rick's, to discuss. There's he was told in our latest email that there's signs for loud music. There's more signs that say no dumping. I'm sorry, you got it?
I can address.
Sure. Because she's my neighbor as well.
Right.
What is her name?
Jim spoke with me today and asked me to tell you if anyone came to the meeting tonight regarding Bubbles Car Wash.
Yes.
He said that had spoke with residents, he didn't name you, and he said that he spoke with Rick that owns Bubbles Car Wash, and that he asked him to put the signs up regarding the loud noise with the radios when they're there doing their car wash or whatever, the loud noise, excuse me.
Sure.
And he said the signs went up, but they're not, this were his words, I'm just repeating. He said that the signs aren't in a proper place because he doesn't feel that the people can see them well. They're back against the building is what he told me. He also said that this is not satisfactory. He has a meeting scheduled with Rick regarding putting up some type of a barrier that it may be a shed, may it be an awning, he's not sure what, but he would be in touch with the resident, I guess it's you, that regarding what needs to be done there if it's not satisfactory.
Now, I read part of the Aston code, and so many feet of business, we're supposed to be screened or something.
I can't, you're gonna have to talk to Jim about that, and he said for you to give him a call.
So I have pictures of the sign, and no parking sign is bigger than the sign.
Doesn't it say anything about noise?
It says no apple, so it's like, here's the vacuum, it's up here. I don't know.
That must be what he referred to
And it
today.
says no alcohol, and at the very bottom it says no loud music. So,
I can call Jim in the morning with no problem, or you're the people that need to be satisfied with it, but please give him a call, he'll be glad to speak with you regarding it. I'll be glad to call him and tell him you were here, and you know that it's not satisfactory at this point in time, and he needs to meet with Mr. Yanoti regarding the noise down there.
sure, he said he was gonna set up a meeting, but like, obviously he's down and out, I don't know how to set that up. So that's why I was like, because I didn't know this when you brought that up. I was like, who's down?
Here's my contact information. If you don't hear from Mr. Segal, reach out to me. I can help coordinate a meeting, okay? Be glad to help you.
Sure.
If you have a question, you're more than welcome to call.
Okay, do you want my name? Because I live right behind
Can I have
it.
your name?
Yes, it's Katie Rummel, Runnel. You need the address?
So we have like 911 calls.
Yeah, what is your address?
4322 Spring House.
I mean, I think in probably the last 2 weeks, there's been a dozen 911 calls. Is that really where we want to be focusing on police officers? On something that's not going on? I'm sorry?
That's who you have to call.
Right, I mean, like, so, I mean, when does it come to a point where either the business gets fined, or the person gets fined, or what if someone's in a real need of emergency and we're sending 911?
No, I agree.
I won't keep doing 911. Thank you, sir.
My information back there, okay?
Thank you. Well, so, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Does anybody else like to come up and speak? Seeing none? Going once, twice? Okay. I was waiting for you to come up.
We take care of it.
Okay, we'll move on to other business, item 14. Mr. Doherty?
No further comments.
Yeah, not with me either. Just want to congratulate the Lions Club.
Thank you, Mr. Berry.
I'd like to congratulate the Lions Club, 75 years. Pretty awesome, as old as I am. And I'd like to welcome aboard Mike Madron and his cohorts. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Bowden?
Congratulations, Lions, you have done an excellent job in all your helping the residents of Aston Township. I don't know what we would do with Aston, you guys are absolutely amazing, and you make our best breakfast, and I look forward to them every year, they're really, really wonderful job. Congratulations to Eileen Bailey. Welcome to Mike Madron, if he was here, sorry that he's not. Jim, thank you for covering for him. And, don't forget movie nights, Friday night. Bring your little ones up. Come get some good movie. Have a good time. That's all I have.
Commissioner McGinn?
Thanks, Commissioner Higgins. So a lot of congratulations been said, so for the Lions Club, I'll in turn instead say thank you. Thanks for all your volunteerism in Aston Township and doing that. Every municipality, every neighborhood doesn't have a Lions Club that's as active as you are, so thank you. Also, one of our residents pointed something out, so as another thank you, as the season concludes, would be remiss not to recognize the folks at the Aston AA, for putting together another successful basketball season and continuing to do, kind of keep the trains on time, make things run. We have a great community center, but it's limited space. With help from the school district as well, using some of the elementary schools in Northley. My kids participate, had a good time, and I think a lot of people do, and it's a great activity for all the boys and girls over the winter months. So special recognition for that, and I guess the pitchers and catchers reported for the Phillies the other day, and as soon as you know it, you'll have the little pitchers and catchers reporting to Aston, Middletown, and Aston Valley as well. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Griffith?
Just congratulations and thank you to the Lions Club, and then congratulations to Eileen and Mike.
Mr. DeFeo?
Yes, congratulations, Lions. I'll be joining you tomorrow, renewing my membership with the Lions after a few years' absence.
Is that it?
That's it?
Okay. Mr. Vasuzo?
Nothing?
None for you? Okay. And how about Mr. Halligan? Do you have anything to say? You were quiet tonight because, for whatever reason. Maybe we did a good job.
He's smart. Great job.
Thank you. We thank you. Appreciate you coming tonight. You never know what you're going to get hit with when you get here. That's great. All right. I want to make a couple comments. I want to congratulate the Lions Club for the 75 years, but also I'm going to congratulate them for still being here at the meeting. I think it's great. I think it's great that you gentlemen gave us the attention and everything. You know, a lot of people leave after they get their awards, but you guys stayed, and you know, I think everybody would agree that we appreciate that, and we do appreciate your service. Okay, so especially the young fellow there sitting next to John. Okay, yeah. He hasn't told me a winner picket lately, but you know. Anyway, but yeah, and congratulations to Eileen Bailey and to our new solicitor, Michael Madron. And you'll see him next month, and you guys are welcome to come next month too. So, and that's all I have. So I think, you know, we get a motion for adjournment. Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.